ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किङ्करीयस्य सामाया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये। प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे। श्रीसच्चिदानन्दशिवाभिनव्य नृसिंहभारत्यभिधान् यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान्। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम्। विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे। अज्ञानां जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुशेखरभारतीम्। ॐ। In the previous session, we had looked at verse number 6 of the Atma Bodha. The Atma Bodha, as we all know, is a work, an introductory work by Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. So we'll read the 6th verse once more. Samsara swapna tulyo hi ragadveshadi sankulaha swakale satyavadbhati prabodhe satyasadbhavet. So here, Acharya is referring to the mithyatvam or the unreality of the world. And here he is comparing the world, the physical world that we attribute so much importance and value to. He says it is comparable to a dream. Samsaraha swapnatulyohi. And he says it is afflicted by raga and dvesha. So the samsara that we have is because of our likes and dislikes, meaning that the creation of Ishvara we attribute personal value to by liking some things and disliking those things. When in reality, all that exists is Brahman, the consciousness. Because of our mental problems, our likes and dislikes, we divide the universe into that which is favorable to us and therefore we have an attraction for, and that which is unfavorable to us and which we do not like. And therefore that is referred to here as Raga Dveshadi Sankulaha. And Acharya is saying, like the dream world appears to be real at the time of dreaming. So when we say the dream is unreal, from what perspective are we saying that? We are saying it after we have woken up, and then we say whatever I saw before in the dream, everything was unreal. But during the dream, we are 100% convinced that what is happening is reality. Our mind creates this universe in the dream, and we think, yes, I am a participant in this. Whatever I'm seeing here is real. Now, the real world is comparable, and the operative word is comparable. We are not saying it is equal to, we are saying it is comparable to. And so long as we are in the dream, we think it is real. Similarly, so long as we are operating in the realm of ignorance, we continue to believe that the waking world is real as well. However, just like when we wake up from the dream, we realize that whatever we have been seeing is only an unreal projection of our mind. Similarly, when we wake up from the waking state, meaning once we have the dawn of knowledge, we realize that the waking world is a projection of my ignorance. Me, the consciousness, projected this universe because of not knowing my own true nature. That is the message of the sixth mantra. We had seen this in the previous class, and so for an introduction to get that connection, I went through it briefly. Now we will look at the seventh verse in some detail. Tavat satyam jagadbhati shuktika rajatam yatha yavannagra gyayate brahma sarvadhishtanamadvayam. So the natural question that comes up at the end of the previous verse is, there is the dream world is real, but only for a very short time, only when we are dreaming. When we wake up, we realize that we may have thought of it as continuing for a very long time, but it doesn't persist for that long time in reality. We would have slept only for a few hours, but we would have aged years in the dream. But reality is that time hasn't gone. We have assumed that time has gone, but the duration of the dream is actually quite short. So when we are comparing the waking world to the dream, the question that will be asked is, how is it the case that the waking world is going on for so long, whereas the dream world is so short? So how can you compare it? To this, Acharya is saying that the dream world appears to be short once you have woken up, but so long as you are in the dream, you would think it is going on for a very long time. And what is the trigger for you to wake up from that dream? What is the trigger for the existence of the dream world to continue on? He says, just like if you're walking down the road and you see a piece of shell on the riverbed, you're not walking down the road, you're walking down a riverbed, say, and you see a piece of shell there on the riverbed, and it is blazing hot. And when the sunlight falls on the shell glows. It is very shining, and it looks like a silver coin on the riverbed. And we rush to pick it up. But really speaking, it is only a shell. And so he's using the Shukti Rajatam, the second example, which is very famous after the Rajju Sarpam, the rope snake. The second most frequently used example is the Shukti Rajatam. Shukti means the shell, Rajatam means silver. So just like the silver continues to appear so long as you do not know that it is really shell. So as long as you have the ignorance of the shell, you do not know that it is shell on the riverbed, the shell will appear to be like silver. Similarly, so long as you do not know, you haven't perceived Brahman clearly, the real reality, if you haven't seen, until that time, the world will continue to appear. So the reality of the world is something that is experienced so long as one has not realized what Brahman is. But once that Brahman has been directly cognized, the world ceases to exist. Not that it ever existed in the first place, but the reality that we attributed to it, we have stopped. Now, in the previous session, we had looked at what ignorance does. So, ignorance does two things. It obscures the underlying object and then projects another thing in its place, like the projection of the world, like the projection of the false dream world, like the projection of the snake, where there should be rope, like the projection of silver, where there should be shell. So ignorance does that projection first. And secondly, if we had known that the dream world was a dream world while dreaming, there would be no problem. If I had known that the snake was an unreal snake when I saw it, it would have been no problem. If I had known that the silver was an unreal silver when I saw it, it would be no problem. The problem is that ignorance transfers the reality of the substratum to the projection. So the reality of Brahman is projected onto the world. The reality of the dream world, the reality of the waker is projected onto the dream world. The reality of the shell is projected onto the silver. The reality of the rope is projected onto the snake. So in the case of the waking world, we think it is real because it is Brahman's reality that appears as the world. In the example of the shell silver, the reality of the shell appears as though the silver. We transfer that reality because of ignorance from one object to another object. And therefore, it is because of this transference that we suffer. And this is what Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada also referred in the Adhyasa Bhashyam. He says, Satyanrite Mithuni Kritya. By the mixing up of the real and the unreal, we are causing this Naisargikoyam Loka Vyavaharaha, the beginningless transaction called samsara has been proceeding because the ignorance of the self has led to the projection of the jiva and the world, the jiva bhava and the world, the sense of being a jiva. It has transferred the reality of consciousness onto jiva bhava. It has transferred the reality of consciousness onto the world, and then it makes that so-called jiva transact with the so-called world and be limited. So that is the meaning of this particular verse. And the one thing that we did not refer to, we spoke about Tavat Satyam Jagat Bhati Shuktika Rajatam Yatha Yavanna Gyayate Brahma, we covered. Until Brahma or Brahman is known, the world will continue to appear. What kind of Brahman? Sarvadishtanam Advayam. It is the universal substratum. Everything, this entire divine comedy has been superimposed on that one substratum. Adhishtana means substratum or the locus, the underlying firmament upon which these projections occur is Brahman. And what kind of Brahman? Advayam. Nothing else apart from it actually is real. It is all that exists. It is Advayam. Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit Ekameva Advitiyam. It's the Advitiya Brahma, it's the Advayam Brahma, the non-dual Brahman upon which this entire samsara has been projected. That is the meaning of this particular verse. Now going on to the next verse. Upadane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargasthiti layan yanti buddhudani vavarini. So Acharya is saying, in that Parameshwara Brahman is this entire universe projected. And here he is using a technical word called Upadanam. Now, Upadanam refers to the raw material, the material cause is called Upadana Karanam. The stuff with which this world is made of. We call the clay as the Upadana Karanam of the pot, the material cause of the pot. And here he is saying the material cause, the stuff behind this universe, the content of this universe, the material cause is Parameshwara, is the consciousness, Satchidananda Brahma. Who is that consciousness? I, the consciousness, I am the stuff with which this universe has been made. I am the content of the entire universe, Acharya is saying. And by the word Parameshwara, what Acharya wants to convey is that the creation, sustenance, and the destruction or resolution of this universe is within me. So the universe emerged from me, in me it is sustained, and into me it resolves. Just like the sleeping individual is the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the dream universe, I, the pure consciousness, am the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the waking universe. As the Kaivalya Upanishad mantra says, Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, Mayi Sarvam Pratishtitam, Mayi Sarvam Layam Yati, Tad Brahmadvayam Asmiham. In me is all this born, in me is all this sustained, and into me does all this resolve during Pralaya. Who am I? I am not a small jiva. That is simply an erroneous notion that I have. I am Brahman, that Brahman that the Shruti has been talking about as Sat, Chit, and Atma. I am that Brahman who is non-dual. And that is what Acharya is saying here, that Parameshwara is none other than me. It is my higher nature. I, because of an ignorance of my nature, have mistaken myself to be a limited jiva. But really speaking, my higher nature is consciousness, not this individual, not this body or the mind, or any of the limitations that I have taken upon myself as mine. All this is anatma, which must be set aside with a focus on Paramatma, my higher nature, as consciousness. So Acharya Shankara Bhagavad Pada is saying, Jaganti Sargasthiti Layanyanti. In Parameshwara, which is my higher nature, in that consciousness are the galaxies. Here the plural word Jaganti is used. Are the galaxies born, sustained, and resolved, just like Budbudani va Varani, like bubbles in a water. Now, the galaxy spans huge distances, several billion light years. The universe, according to scientists, is 93 billion light years in width. So, one light year is the distance traveled by light in 1 year. So, if there's a photon that is starting from one end of the galaxy, it will take it 93 billion years for it to reach the other end of the universe, not galaxy. 93 billion years is the span of the universe. So one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, the light photon will take 93 billion years. And he says that huge, vast universe that we are talking about is only a tiny fraction within consciousness. And we think that the universe has been in existence for billions of years, which seems like a very long time to us compared to the existence of the human body. But it says, from the standpoint of Brahman, the duration of the universe is like a very small instant of time. It's a flicker of time. It, really speaking, it is as though a bubble appearing and disappearing in water. And another important idea is conveyed here. What is the content of the bubble? Is it fundamentally different? Is the substance bubble different from the substance water? No. When it is a bubble, when it is destroyed in both states, it is water and water alone. Similarly, the world, the universe, even when it appears as the world and the universe, is Brahman and Brahman alone. That is why in the Purusha Sukta, there is the Purusha Sukta hymn, it says Pado Osya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Amritam Divi. One pada or one quarter is Vishvaha, is the creation. 3 quarters are beyond creation. So the same idea is conveyed that the appearance of this universe which is merely an appearance, is a small component of me, the consciousness. And even though the universe appears to be present for billions of years, it is a fleeting moment when looked at it from the perspective of Brahman. No wonder people say Vedanta is tough. It asks you to turn your worldview completely around. So we look at the next verse. Satyadatmanyanusyute nitye Vishnau prakalpitaha yaktayo vividha sarva hatake katakadivat. So in the previous verse, Parameshwara was used. In this verse, Vishnu was used. So Shankaracharya is being open-minded. He is not saying only Parameshwara, he's not saying only Vishnu, he's talking about both. And here he's saying the same idea is conveyed with a slight difference. In the previous verse, we were talking about Samashti Srishti, the creation of the macro. Here we are talking about Vyashti Srishti, the creation of the micro. And here he's saying Vyaktayaha Prakalpitaha. Vyaktayaha means individual bodies are unreal projections within me, the consciousness. And who am I? Vishnu. By the word Vishnu here, we are not talking about the Shankachakra Gadadhari. That is merely a form and a name that is assumed by consciousness for the sake of blessing the devotee. By Vishnu, we are referring to the all-pervading consciousness. In that all-pervading consciousness are individual bodies superimposed, projected. And that is by using the word Vishnu, we are talking about consciousness being beyond space. And next we say Nitya. It is also timeless in that eternal consciousness. Now Nitya really means eternal, meaning existing in all 3 periods of time. But really speaking, we should be talking of consciousness not as eternal, because even the word eternal is linked with the idea of time. We should talk of it as timeless. In that timeless consciousness, because why do we say that? Is because what is time? Time is really a measure of change. The duration or the interval between two changes that occur within one substance. So if you have one object and that object changes, the duration of that change between one state of that object and another state of that object is called time, very simply speaking. And what is distance? The space traversed in one by the same object is called distance. But Brahman is all pervading, and therefore there is no place for it to go anywhere. So the idea of space itself does not really limit Brahman. In fact, Brahman is, you can't even say it's all pervading, it is spaceless. Similarly, Brahman is changeless, and therefore the idea of time itself does not apply to Brahman. So in that all-pervading, spaceless, timeless consciousness, of what nature? Acharya says Satchidatmani. The consciousness which is of the nature of existence and consciousness are Vyaktayaha Prakalpitaha. And what kind of Vyaktayaha? Vividaha. Various kinds of individual bodies, different species. There are so many species of life forms in this earth, just this earth itself, let alone the universe. And so these multifarious bodies are mere unreal projections within me. And why do we say unreal? We say it's unreal because they are any real projection will be a limitation of Brahman. Because Brahman is the only reality, Sarvadhishtanam Advayam, Acharya had said in the previous verse. So in that Brahman Anusyute, and when we say Anusyute, it means they are interwoven within that fabric of Brahman are these different bodies, but that interweaving does not mean it is a real object, the real entity. They are prakalpitaha. To indicate that they are unreal, Acharyas use the word prakalpitaha. And the example he gives is Hatake Katakadivate. So Hataka means gold, Kataka means bangle. So like the bangle in the gold, they are an unreal projection. Now when we say, how is a bangle unreal? Bangle is real. I am holding it in my hand. I buy it from a shop. I say it weighs this much. To which Shankaracharya says, when you say the bangle is real, you buy it from a shop, you wear it in your hand, what is it that you're referring to as bangle? If you say that bangle is this object which has this name, I'll say the name may be true, it may have a name, but it is a name for what? It is a name for the gold. If the word bangle referred to an object which was independent or different from gold, then I will say, you keep the bangle, give me the gold. Can we do that? We can't. Because the bangle is gold through and through. And we'll say, no, 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 but there's a shape to this. And I'll say, you keep the shape, give me the gold. The shape is of the substance. Then he'll say, no, it has a function. I wear it in a particular hand, I use it. I cannot wear it in my ears. I'll say, no, no, no. It cannot be the case that the function means it is real. Because I will say, you can do the function, you can wear it in the hand, give me that gold. So you can, the name, form, and function are simply projections upon the substance. It is the substance that is called that. It is the substance that looks like that. It is the substance that is used like that. All of those three things may happen, but it is not something different from the substance. Similarly, the universe and the names and forms in the universe may have various names, may have various forms, may have various functions, nama, rupa, karma, but they are Brahman through and through, consciousness through and through. And with that, we will pause today's session and we will take up the verses that come after this 10 onwards in the next session. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnavadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.